Have you ever felt nervous before a job interview?
I think almost everyone has.
You sit down, the interviewer smiles, and then you hear the first question.
And suddenly your mind goes blank.
Exactly. So today, we are going to help with that.
Yes, today we are talking about common job interview questions, what they really mean, and how to answer them in clear, simple English.
Welcome back to Daily English Loop. I'm Alex.
And I'm Lisa.
This is a very useful topic because many English learners do not need perfect English for an interview.
They need clear English.
Exactly. Simple, confident, professional English.
And that is good news because you do not need long, complicated sentences to make a good impression.
In fact, short and clear answers often sound stronger.
So in this episode, we are going to go through some of the most common interview questions.
We will also explain what the interviewer really wants to hear.
And we will share answers that are natural, practical, and beginner-friendly.
Let's start with the first question. It is probably the most common one.
Tell me about yourself.
This question sounds easy, but many people answer it the wrong way.
Yes, some people think it means, tell me your life story.
Or they start talking about pets, hobbies, or what they do on weekends.
Which is not usually what the interviewer wants.
Exactly. In a job interview, tell me about yourself really means tell me about yourself professionally.
So the best answer should focus on your work, your studies, your experience, and your skills.
Right. You want to give a short and clear summary.
Not too long.
Definitely not too long.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. You could say, I'm a customer service representative with 3 years of experience. I enjoy helping customers, solving problems, and working in a team. In my last job, I handled phone and email support.
That is a great answer.
Why do you like it?
Because it is simple, professional, and relevant. It tells us who you are in a work context.
Exactly. It also sounds confident without sounding arrogant.
That matters a lot in interviews.
It does. So for question 1, do not tell your whole life story. Give a short professional introduction.
Education, experience, skills, and maybe your current goal.
Perfect.
Okay, let's move to the second question. Why do you want to work here?
This is the homework question.
Yes, you really need to prepare before the interview.
Because if you answer with something too general, it sounds weak.
For example, because I need a job.
Which may be true, but it is not a strong interview answer.
Right. The interviewer wants to know if you understand their company and if you are genuinely interested in this role.
So before the interview, you should read about the company.
Their website is a great place to start.
Look at their products, services, values, and mission.
Then connect that information to your skills or interests.
For example, you could say, I want to work here because I admire your company's focus on innovation. I also feel that my experience in project coordination would fit this role well.
That sounds much better than a generic answer.
Yes, because it shows interest and preparation.
And it also shows respect. You took time to learn about the company.
Exactly. Interviewers notice that.
So question 2 is really about preparation and motivation.
Right. Now let's go to another classic question. What are your strengths?
This one is a chance to highlight the skills that match the job.
I think this is where people sometimes make a mistake. They choose strengths that sound nice but not useful for the role.
That is true. A better strategy is to choose strengths that fit the job description.
So if the job needs communication, you can say you're a strong communicator.
If the job needs organization, you can say you are organized and detail-oriented.
If it's a team role, you can say you work well with others.
Exactly. And it helps if you add a short example.
For example, one of my strengths is organization. In my last role, I managed several tasks at the same time and always kept my deadlines.
That is great because it does not just name the strength, it supports it.
Right. A short example makes your answer feel real.
What are some safe and useful strengths for many interviews?
Communication, teamwork, organization, problem solving, reliability, and adaptability.
Those are all very practical.
They are. And again, you do not need fancy words.
Clear and honest is better.
Always.
Okay, now we have to go to the more difficult partner question. What is your greatest weakness?
Yes, the question many people hate.
Some people panic and say, I don't have any weaknesses.
Which is a bad answer.
Very bad.
Because nobody believes it. And it can make you sound arrogant or not self-aware.
Exactly. But the answer should also not be too negative.
Right. This is not the time to say, I am always late and I do not work well under pressure.
Definitely not. So what is the best way to answer?
Choose a real but manageable weakness and then explain what you are doing to improve it.
That is the key.
For example, sometimes I feel nervous when I speak in front of large groups. To improve this, I have been practicing presentations more often.
That is a strong answer.
Why?
Because it shows honesty, but it also shows action.
Exactly. You are not just describing a weakness, you are showing growth.
Another good example could be, I used to find it hard to delegate tasks, but I have been learning to trust my team more.
Very nice. Again, honest and professional.
So, for this question, the message should be, I know myself and I am working on improving.
Perfectly said.
Let's move to another common question. Why did you leave your last job? Or why do you want to leave your current job?
This is a very important one.
Yes, because the wrong tone can hurt you.
The golden rule here is simple. Do not speak badly about your old boss, your coworkers, or your company.
Even if your last job was difficult.
Even then.
Because if you sound bitter or angry, the interviewer may think you will bring that same energy into the new company.
Exactly. So keep your answer calm and future-focused.
For example, I learned a lot in my last position, but now I'm looking for a new challenge and more opportunities to grow.
That is a very safe and professional answer.
Or you could say, I'm ready for a role that gives me more responsibility.
Yes, that sounds positive.
The focus should be on where you want to go next, not on complaining about where you came from.
Exactly.
Okay, here's another big one. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
This question makes many people uncomfortable.
Because nobody knows the future exactly.
True, but the interviewer is not asking for a perfect prediction.
They want to know if you have goals.
Yes, and whether you are serious about growing in your career.
So, a good answer should show ambition, but still sound realistic.
Exactly. For example, in 5 years, I hope to grow into a more senior role, continue building my skills, and contribute more to my team.
That is strong.
It shows growth, commitment, and a professional mindset.
And if you want, you can connect it to the company.
Yes, you could say, I hope to grow within the company and take on more responsibility over time.
That sounds much better than something like, I have no idea.
Much better.
Or, I want your job.
Definitely do not say that.
Good, we agree.
Always.
Now let's talk about behavioral questions. These are questions like, tell me about a time you faced a challenge at work.
These questions are very common now.
Because interviewers want real examples, not just general promises.
Exactly. They want to know how you actually behave in real situations.
So, how should learners answer this kind of question?
A simple structure works very well. Situation, action, result.
First, explain the situation.
Then explain what you did.
Then, explain the result.
For example, in my previous job, a customer was upset because an order arrived late. I listened carefully, apologized, and worked with the shipping team to solve the problem quickly. In the end, the customer was satisfied and continued working with our company.
That is such a useful example.
It is short, clear, and complete.
And it shows several good qualities at the same time.
Yes, calmness, communication, and problem solving.
I think that is one of the best ways to sound professional in simple English.
I agree. You do not need a dramatic story. You need a clear one.
That is an excellent point.
Thank you.
Here is another question interviewers often ask. Do you prefer working alone or in a team?
This is a good one because the best answer is usually balanced.
Right. If you say, I only want to work alone, that may sound difficult.
But if you say, I can only work in a team, that can also sound limiting.
So the best answer is something like, I work well in teams, but I can also work independently when needed.
Exactly. That shows flexibility.
And flexibility is a very valuable quality in most jobs.
Very true. You can also add a little detail.
For example, I enjoy teamwork because it brings different ideas together, but I'm also comfortable managing tasks on my own.
That sounds excellent.
Balanced and mature.
Exactly.
Now, let's go to an important question near the end of many interviews. Do you have any questions for us?
This is a moment many candidates waste,
Yes. Some people say, no, I'm fine,
which is usually not a good idea.
because it can make you look passive or not very interested.
Exactly. It is much better to ask one or two thoughtful questions.
But not just any questions.
Right. Try to ask questions about the role, the team, or the work environment.
For example, what does a typical day in this role look like?
Or, what are the biggest priorities for the person in this position?
Or, what does success look like in the first few months?
Those are excellent questions.
Because they show real interest in doing the job well.
Exactly. They make you sound engaged and thoughtful.
Probably not the best time to begin with vacation days and office snacks.
Probably not.
Maybe later.
Definitely later.
Now let's talk about money, the question many people feel nervous about. What are your salary expectations?
Yes, this question can feel uncomfortable.
Because people do not want to say a number that is too low or too high.
Exactly. That is why research is important.
Before the interview, look up the average salary for that role in your city or industry.
Then prepare a reasonable range.
Not just one exact number.
Right. For example, based on my experience and market research, I'm looking for something in the range of...
And then you can give the range.
Yes, you can also add, but I'm open to discussing the full compensation package.
That sounds flexible and professional.
Exactly. It shows that you are informed, but also reasonable.
And that balance matters.
It really does.
Before we finish, I want to mention one more thing. Good interview English is not only about answers, it is also about delivery.
Very true.
Eye contact matters.
Sitting up straight matters.
A calm tone matters.
A short pause before answering is okay.
Yes, in fact, it can make you sound thoughtful.
Exactly. You do not need to answer every question instantly.
And if you don't understand a question, it's okay to ask for clarification.
That's actually a smart thing to do.
You can say, could you please repeat the question? Or, Could you clarify what you mean?
That is much better than guessing and giving the wrong answer.
Absolutely.
So, let's do a quick recap.
Good idea.
Tell me about yourself means give a short professional introduction.
Why do you want to work here means show that you researched the company.
What are your strengths means match your skills to the role.
What is your weakness means be honest but show improvement.
Why did you leave your last job means stay positive and future-focused.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years means show realistic ambition.
Behavioral questions need a clear story, situation, action, result.
Do you prefer working alone or in a team is best answered with balance.
Do you have any questions for us? Should never be wasted.
And salary questions should be prepared with research and a reasonable range.
That is a lot of useful ground to cover.
It really is.
So, if you have an interview coming up, remember this: you do not need perfect English.
You need clear English.
You need preparation.
And you need calm confidence.
Simple answers can be powerful.
Very powerful.
Now we want to hear from you.
Which interview question makes you the most nervous?
And which one do you want to practice first?
Tell us in the comments.
And if this episode helped you, don't forget to subscribe to Daily English Loop.
Thanks for listening.
Good luck with your interviews.
And good luck with your English.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.